So over the holidays, we were waiting to find out, would the Republicans and Donald Trump at least even pretend that they care about all the suffering going on by signing the already relatively mediocre stimulus COVID bill that had been waiting on Trump's desk, apparently. He waited until Sunday. So just yesterday, he did sign the bill. It's a measure that provides $900 billion, sort of, in pandemic aid and funds the government through September. So we've already broken down what that number includes and what it doesn't include. You can definitely watch those videos if you want more details. It's not great, and it ain't $900 billion actually going to the people. But bear in mind that just because the bill is bad, that's not the limit to what damage Trump can do. Now, Trump, like a week ago, was saying, no, I'm actually the champion of the people. I don't want $600 checks to people. I want $2,000 checks to people. I want people to no longer suffer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to play golf, which we'll get to, and then wait for the unemployment enhanced assistance to lapse, because he could have signed it earlier, and then that wouldn't have happened. He just waited a couple of days. That lapsed. So now if you're unemployed, God only knows when you'll get access to that aid. Maybe it'll pick up in a couple of weeks, but maybe it'll take longer. And so now for millions of unemployed Americans at Christmas, you're going to have to wait because Donald Trump was busy. He said he would work tirelessly over Christmas at Mar-a-Lago, and then he went golfing, as you're seeing here. He played golf at least 4 times over the holiday weekend. I don't need to play golf 4 times in my life. He played it in 1 weekend, and he was so busy doing that he couldn't get around to scrawling his seismograph signature onto the bill, and so people got a little bit more screwed over. Francesca, what are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, this was hours would have made the difference in terms of allowing people who are currently on unemployment to know that they will keep getting checks the next month or not, right? Like he could have signed it on Saturday and it wouldn't have lapsed. But no, he had to golf 4 times. Is he good at golf? Because he's terrible at being the president. He's terrible at being a father. He's terrible at being a husband. He's terrible at being a businessman. He's bankrupted casinos. He's terrible at, let's be real, using his big boy pants, making sure that when he's got to go, he goes in the right spot. So is he good at golf? Apparently he's not. Apparently he also cheats at that, which is super on brand. But yeah, I mean, all of this, I think, we'll get into what it means. But the fact is that Trump has been a fake populist from the beginning. He pretends that he's going to do the right thing for working Americans and then does not, because he has Mitch McConnell's hand so far up his you-know-where that and it moves his mouth, even though Mitch McConnell can't somehow get away with being that charming. Right? So this is the thing where you realize Trump is absolutely a tool of the 1%, of the elites, of the bog in which he himself comes from. Mm-hmm. And if he tries to get more money to the American people, if he tries to get a healthcare plan passed, no, because that's not what he was designed. That's not what he is being used to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely fake populist. We're going to see how fake. I mean, the fact that he was so busy golfing that he let the enhanced aid lapse is just amazing. And I was trying to think of exactly the best term for a person who plays golf while other people go hungry. And I think putts is as perfect as can be imagined. I think that's what that term was made for. But anyway, there are other ways that he's being incredibly fake about this. And look, at the end of the day, if setting fire to the negotiations at the last minute, if it does lead to the bigger checks, and we're going to get to the possibility of that in a little bit, then that will be a good thing. But we're still not there yet, and we've now been getting more and more evidence that he doesn't really care about that. Here's one thing. He put out a statement saying that he will sign the omnibus and COVID package with a strong message that makes clear to Congress that wasteful items need to be removed, saying he would send a formal request asking for some of the funds to be removed. So, look, in this particular case, because there are going to be, even after the bill is signed, there's going to be these further, amendments and things like that. It is possible for things to be changed, but it is a very interesting, lazy move for him to wait until last week when we're on the cusp of the thing being signed to say that it's an unacceptable level of checks when he could have been getting involved, and to now sign it and say he's going to send a ton of what amounts to line item vetoes on things that have been in the bill that he could have been negotiating over for a while but chose not to. But that's not even the fakest part about this. The fakest part is that he doesn't even really oppose those things. There have been some great compilations put together. Here is one from Phil Mattingly. It's not going to make a ton of sense, and the individual details don't necessarily matter, but he specifically cited issues he had with bits of funding that are in many cases almost exactly what his own budget called for. And he's now saying, oh no, I'm really against all this wasteful spending that I was advocating for. I totally want that out. Either he didn't know that it was in there and he has nothing to do with his own budget, or he's just lying to make it seem as if he's against pork, knowing that it's not going to get voted out, but he can pretend that he was against it even though he was actually advocating for it.
Well, I mean, this is the whole thing with this spending bill and the fact that the omnibus bill and the relief bill have been lumped into one because somehow we can't have a government that operates through the new year. Like we've got to just barely hang on and barely fund basic operations. And maybe, hey, remember the government shutdown? Wow, how buried is that in your memory? So this is not the first time, obviously, that Trump has withheld money to essential workers and people who need it. But yeah, this is all the stuff that he's mad at is stuff that was in his own budget proposal, not the relief bill, but the budget proposal. And somehow we decided, let's give him two incredibly important things to sign off on. And just like a 3-year-old child that he is, he threw a tantrum to show that he can throw a tantrum, to try to get to pretend that he wants to get something better. And we'll see. Yeah, if he somehow miraculously does this, I'll eat my own words. That's fine. I will wear diapers for a week. I'll wear diapers. I will wear diapers if Trump gets us $2,000 stimulus. I swear. Now, I won't show it to you, but you could hear it squish. You could, I'll like move around for you. No, but seriously, I'm sorry. I want this to happen. It's not going to happen because he cannot move the party at all. He's been unable to do that. They move him. And hey, turns out that it works out in his favor.